Alright, multiplying the 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2. I made a little rectangle here. You just find the area of each one of these guys. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times 2, 6x. So forth, combine like terms. That's how you get to there. Same type of problem here. And then I just threw in the little negative to make it a tiny bit harder. So that's the negative 9x there. So when you combine those, that'll be a negative 5x. Same type of thing, but this is a 2 by 3. So it's 2 by 3. And then you just find the area of each one. And then that would be 3x cubed, root squared. And then this would be negative 6x squared. And this would be negative x squared. Combine like terms here. There you go. Cross multiply. So it's 8 times x. 8 times 10 is 80. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 6 is 36. Don't forget the negative. Subtract 80 from both sides. Add 6x to both sides. Divide by 2, and that's how I get here. Cross multiply. I have 8x equals 4. You have to divide by 8 on each side. And 4 divided by 8 is 1/2. Y is equal to that right there, so I can plug it in for the y. So that's what I did here. I wrote everything down but the y and plugged it in. Distribute. It gives me a negative 44x. And add 140 to both sides. Divide, and you get the negative 3. Plug the negative 3 in, you get positive 18 minus 20 is a big fat negative 2. Same type of problem here, but look, I put x equals, so you just have to plug it in for the x. So I plugged in for the x. Distributed, combine like terms, add 6 to both sides. That's how you get the negative 1. Plug your negative 1 back in, and you get x equals 4. You write the equation. There's 14 adults, 16 students. I use x for students, and that's a total of that much money. And then this much money was 9 adults and 8 students. I multiplied the bottom equation by a negative 2 so that I'd get a negative 16x, so that these x's would cancel out when I add them together. So when I add those together, I get the negative 4. Add those together, I get the negative 52. Divide, and you get a equals 13, I mean. So that's $13 for the adults. Plug 13 back into one of the equations. I picked this one. And you saw me get $11 for the students. I multiplied the top one by 2 so that I could eliminate the y's. So when I multiplied by 2, I got this equation. Most people forget to multiply the last part to get the 40 here. Gone. 25x equals 50. X equals 2. Plug x back into one of the equations to find your y. I multiply the top one by negative 2 to make this a negative 6. The bottom one by 3 to make this one a positive 6. And then the x's would cancel out. And here's my two equations. After you finish multiplying by negative 2, you get this guy. After you finish multiplying by 3, you get that guy. Combine them. These are gone. Gives me negative 2y equals negative 10. Divide. And there you go. Plug it back into one of these guys. I pick the bottom one. And you get x equals 5. The new problem for the week. I gave you the slope, so you knew the m of the y equals mx plus b. And then you plugged in the point. There's an x and there's a y. There's an x and there's a y. X and y. Solve for b, and you get negative 15. Plug it back into your equation. You know the m, now you know the b, and there you have your equation. Find the slope. Change in y's over change of x. So subtract the y's. Keep the same order. Subtract the x's. You get 4 over negative 6, which just reduces to negative 2 over 3. So now I know my slope, so I plugged it in for the m. I know an x and I know a y. There's my x, there's my y. Remember, this is multiplication on top of division, so it's 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then that's a negative 2, so you add 2 to both sides, and that's how you get the 23. So the y coordinate is 25, so I know something comma 25, so I plugged it in for the y. I subtracted 15, and then I multiplied by the reciprocal. 3 over 2, multiply each side by 3 over 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. 1525 is the point. The x-coordinate of 18. So to find the y, I would then solve, and I get y is 27 when x is 18.